and she decided that she could write her own story. So in fact, that is what we are going to do as our activity for today. We're going to make our own books just like Anna did, out of paper and string. So if you have some paper lying around your home, maybe some construction paper and some old scratch paper, just construction paper will do. I chose to cut my pieces of paper in half just so that I could have more to go around. You can do that, or you can leave them as full-sized. And then we'll take our construction paper, which will be our cover, and fold it in half, like this. And then we can take 1 or 2 pages to go inside, and when we fold them in half, it'll make more pages. So we'll fold each of those pieces of paper in half as well. And we'll tuck the pages inside each other, and then we'll put them inside the cover of our book. And now we have a little booklet that can open up with pages to turn. So once we have our booklet, there's a couple of options. If you have a hole punch at home and it's available, you can take it and keep the book folded and just punch a couple of holes through the pages. I'm punching 2 holes, 1, 2, with my half-sized book, but if you have a whole-sized book, you might want to punch 3 or 4 holes. So once you have your holes, then you can take maybe a piece of string or a piece of yarn that's lying around your house, and you can thread the piece of string through the holes. And this is a very good fine motor activity for our little ones. If you want to give it a try with them, something that you can do is take a small piece of tape and wrap the tape around the end to stiffen the string so that they're able to push it through the hole on their own. Another thing you can do is fold it in half for them and twist it a little bit, but the tape method tends to work the best. So we'll take our string and we'll thread it through the holes. Now, if you don't happen to have a hole puncher or a string lying around at your house, then you can just open your book up like this and use a stapler to staple the pages together. Just staple once here and once here. So I'm going to tie off my book strings. And you can, if you want, you can add little bows. My string is too short to add bows. So there we have our little booklet with paper and string. Now, when we're writing a story, every time I read my books, I tell you the title of the book and the name of the person who wrote the book. So Monica Brown wrote this book. Since this is my book, I'm going to write my name on this book at the bottom. So I'll take my crayon or pencil. I'm going to write by Francesca on the bottom. So you can write your name on the cover of your book since you're going to be the author and you're going to draw the pictures. Now, what should we write our story about? Well, when I was reading these stories, this made me think of a story of when I was little and my mom went on a trip. And she went on a trip to see her family, and they lived in a different country, so she had to travel for a long time. And while she was gone, there was a big storm. And because of that big storm, the plane that she was supposed to fly home on couldn't fly home, and so she was stuck there for an extra 3 days. And I was a little scared that she wasn't going to ever come home. But then she came home, and I was very excited, and she brought me some presents and some candy from my grandparents. So that's what I'm going to write my story about. Maybe you can think of a special story about a time that you had to wait for somebody special. Maybe it was your friend or your sibling or one of your grandparents or your parent, or maybe even it was a special visitor coming to your house. Maybe it was Santa Claus. But I would love for you to write a little story and draw pictures about a time that you waited for somebody special. So that's what your activity is for today. Happy story making.